This is Dr. Samir Bhatt, Director of Interventional Cardiology Services at Marian Regional Medical Center in Santa Maria. And I'm here to speak to the Legion of Marian group about our ECMO program at Marian Medical Center. I'd like to thank, first of all, I'd like to thank the Legion of Marian for give me the opportunity to address them again. I had the opportunity a few months back, as you all may remember. And once again, I wanted to talk about our ECMO program at Marian Medical Center. So we're talking about ECMO, ECMO, extracorporeal membrane oxygenator. And what it is, it's a machine that basically we can attach the patients to. We put a couple of catheters in the venous system in the body, and then we attach the other side of it to the machine. It goes through a membrane oxygenator, and basically that's what it is. It basically, the blood flows through a series of capillaries, and then there's a membrane where the oxygen will then diffuse in, and the carbon dioxide will be removed from the body. So it's basically like an artificial lung. So most of actually all of our patients at Marian so far have been COVID-19 patients. The COVID-19 virus is particularly toxic to the lungs. And so what happens is that the lung damage is so severe that the patients aren't able to oxygenate their blood. And so then we attach them to this machine, and we're able to sustain their oxygenation for their bodies to continue to live until that time, until the lung can heal. The other areas, patients that can benefit from this, other types of pneumonias, patients that can get a pulmonary embolus, it's another area where the lungs fill up with clot, and so then you're able to oxygenate with the ECMO. And even in cardiac patients, we've had several cardiac patients that have been on ECMO at other hospitals. Again, when they go into profound congestive heart failure or shock, and they're not able to get enough oxygen. So the end result is that whenever your lungs are injured, whether it's infection, whether it's fluid accumulation from heart failure, or whether it's blood clot migrating from the veins in your leg to your lungs, any of those mechanisms that basically interfere with the ability of oxygen to get from the air sacs into the blood, those are the situations that the ECMO has become very, very crucial for. And so the story of ECMO at Marian Medical Center is really a story of Melissa Meza. And she was a beautiful young woman who unfortunately got caught with a bad case of COVID, and basically deteriorating to the point that we really didn't think she was going to survive. Dr. Sidhu, one of our critical care doctors, also has affiliations with Santa Monica St. John's Hospital in Los Angeles, and they have an ECMO program. And so it was his feeling that we needed to do something quickly. And so he got on the phone and made the arrangements, and he actually took Melissa in an ambulance down to St. John's, and she was so critically ill, and he was there to support her along the whole trip. And as soon as she got there, they got her in and got her on the ECMO machine. And within minutes after being placed on the ECMO machine, her condition stabilized. And so she was there for a few weeks or so, just healing up and stabilizing. And then, of course, she was at a point where she could be off of the ECMO, but she still was on the ventilator. What happens whenever you have to have a long-term dependence on the ventilator, we do a procedure called tracheostomy. And so then you have the tube, that the breathing tube is through your, in your neck area, in your trachea, and out of your oral airway. And that's how we're able to sustain people for longer periods on the ventilator. It's you can't leave an endotracheal tube in your throat for prolonged periods of time, because it will cause irritation and narrowing of the trachea. So Melissa, after she was stabilized with ECMO, was on the ventilator with a tracheostomy, and then she was at Marian for a few weeks more, et cetera, building her strength, and eventually being able to be taken off the ventilator and being able to be discharged. So Melissa's story was truly inspirational for our community. And the Smith brothers, Craig and Cameron Smith, their leadership and their commitment was key in sort of spearheading our whole ECMO program. So I actually had the pleasure of taking care of both Dorothy and Mark. And so I've known the Smith family for many years. Of course, Dorothy and Mark and their legacy of and generosity to the Marian Foundation for so many years. What a great couple. And I'm sure they'd be so proud of Craig and Cameron and what they've continued to do for our community. So here we are now, 6 months into the program, and we've actually had 3 more patients need to go on ECMO. And all 3 of them were complications from the COVID-19 infection. So it's just a truly remarkable feat. Here we are in this small community hospital in Central California, and we have the only ECMO program between the Bay Area and Los Angeles. And so it's quite remarkable what has happened here. And I tell you, for me personally, I'm so proud of our hospital staff, our doctors, our nurses, our ECMO team, and of course, administrative leadership and our fundraising crew. It takes all of us together to make something like this happen. And, personally, it gives me a lot of peace of mind that, in this new world of these mutating COVID viruses, at any time, unfortunately, we could get infected with this. And it's nice to have a peace of mind to know that in the event when things go really terrible, we have the capacity here at Marian to be able to sustain life and get our patients through these difficult times. So I think that it's the ECMO program at Marian Regional is a truly an inspirational and amazing program. Of course, it is a pricey program. It costs a lot of money to be able to maintain all of the support services and buy the catheters and all those things that are needed. So that's why we're here today to talk to you all and ask for your help in supporting this truly life-saving, inspirational, and really miraculous therapy. Thank you very much.